Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2016 International Special Operations Forces Week, also known as ISOF Week. We are just minutes away from the start of the International Special Operations Forces Capabilities Demonstration. Special Operations Forces personnel, or SOF personnel, from 14 countries will team together today to execute a simulated hostage rescue mission in vicinity of a terrorist camp located on the Tampa Convention Center grounds next to the Blue Roof Sail Pavilion. Today's teams are comprised of officers, warrant officers, and non-commissioned officers from Colombia, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Jordan, the Netherlands, Peru, Poland, Romania, Singapore, Spain, and the United States.
All Task Force Tampa elements. Task Force Tampa elements. This is Odyssey 6. ISR confirmed. We have hostages on the yacht ship Starship. We will begin to liberate those hostages. Break. Trident 1-1. Begin your infill this time. Advise when swimmers in the water. Over.
Detroit 1-1, copy all.
If you look toward the east side of Tampa General Hospital, across from Jackson's Bistro, you will see a combat rubber raiding craft entering the area with special operators from Poland and the United States. These highly skilled individuals are superbly trained in all environments and are masters of maritime special operations. They typically strike from and return to the sea. Their stealth and clandestine methods of operation allow them to conduct missions against targets that larger forces cannot approach undetected. In this scenario, the team will swim underwater to a designated location where they will remain positioned at the bottom of the channel until later in the event. Through precise mission planning and timing, the special operators will be alerted via underwater communications and will emerge from the water and eliminate an enemy sentry walking along the boat slips in front of the convention center. Timing is critical in a mission like this. Should the team surface too early, the mission could be compromised and the terrorists could move or harm the hostage.
Trident 1-1, this is Odyssey 6. Confirmed swimmers in the water, over. Move to infill. Support by fire position. On top of the convention center. Move to insert sniper team. On top of the second support by fire position, over.
Once again, if you look down the channel, you will now see teams of special operators from Finland, France, and the United States aboard an MH-6 Little Bird helicopter preparing to establish a support by fire position as well as a sniper position overlooking the enemy camp in the village. The support by fire team will be infiltrating to the roof of the Tampa Convention Center and will carry an M240 machine gun. Following that infill, the sniper team will be inserted onto the roof of Tampa General Hospital. These expert marksmen carry high-powered rifles capable of hitting targets more than a mile away. Notice that these individuals are sitting on external seats as the aircraft approaches the drop-off points. The MH-6 Little Bird helicopter is an extremely maneuverable aircraft capable of infiltrating personnel into very tight spaces, such as rooftops, small jungle openings, and tight inner-city roadways. Pre-mission intelligence indicated that terrorists have taken control of a cruise ship moored near the village and are holding the crew and dignitary hostage on board. Therefore, the combined forces' initial target will be the yacht Starship. The sniper team will be keeping a close eye on the vessel before and during the operation.
Roger, copy.
Next, you will see an MH-60 Black Hawk helicopter with special operators from the Netherlands and the United States who will conduct a helicast insertion into the channel. The operators will then conduct a clandestine swim to a combat rubber raiding craft and link up with its crew. These personnel are excellent swimmers and go through rigorous training to master this complex task. The mission for this team today is to establish a maritime observation position near Tampa General Hospital where they can look out for additional enemy forces who may try to interfere with the operation.
You have eyes on activity on the Starship cruise ship. Send sit. Roger. It's Odyssey 6. We're going to push on. Let's liberate those hostages on the Starship. Break.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have already witnessed several personnel moving into the vicinity of the objective area in preparation for the main assault. What we have not yet discussed is the second subsurface swim element that made its way to the yacht Starship during the previous period of darkness and has been quietly hiding below deck, preparing the environment in and around the ship, as well as themselves for an assault on the ship. The first subsurface swim team that you saw earlier is now in its position, still underwater and ready to engage. The second subsurface swim team, with special operators from Ireland and the United States, will now climb aboard the yacht from below, while the first team that infiltrated earlier will surface to engage the enemy sentries on the pier. Ladies and gentlemen, you will now see the MH6 Little Bird returning in an armed reconnaissance role ahead of another Black Hawk helicopter approaching the channel carrying special operators from Peru, Poland, Singapore, Spain, and the United States. With the enemy forces on the ship distracted by the explosion on the pontoon tender, the helicopter assault force will execute a fast rope infiltration onto the yacht, which according to pre-mission intelligence is also where the hostage is located.
Coming out. 6-1, that's completed 5 Eagle.
Once the helicopter assault force is aboard, they will quickly secure the ship and begin searching for the hostage. They will also look for intelligence that might help them prosecute any follow-on target.
Odyssey 6, Raider, infill complete. At position.
Odyssey 6, Roger. Break. Skull 20, Odyssey 6. Standing by for sit rep on the boat, over. Odyssey 6 is the Skull 20. We're at sector secure on the Starship. Break. All assaulters are up. I got 5 EKIA, 4 crew members rescue. Break. Objective Buckhorn is not on target. Rumors tell me that he was moved to the village. How copy, over?
This is Odyssey 6.
I confirm your slant. Say again. Status objective Buckhorn, over. This is Skull 20. Objective Buckhorn is not on the Starship. How copy, over?
This
is Odyssey 6. Roger. Begin asking the crew if they know the whereabouts of objective Buckhorn. All elements stand by. Prepare to execute contingency plan. 4 Charlie. Assault into the enemy stronghold. All units stand by.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to see is a simultaneous maritime and ground assault on the enemy camp in the village. If you look on the bridge near Jackson's Bistro on Harbor Island, you will see vehicles moving to attack an enemy checkpoint located next to the bus stop in front of the convention center. The ground assault force, or GAF, consists of personnel from Colombia, Jordan, Romania, Singapore, and the United States, including the FBI. They are using Special Operations ATVs and M1025 ground mobility vehicles, which are modified Humvees. As the ground assault force prepares to assault over the bridge, you can also see the Maritime Assault Force, or MAF, entering the area aboard 2 11-meter rigid hull inflatable boats, or RIBs, under the armed escort of the MH6 Little Bird. This force consists of personnel from Colombia, Finland, France, Ireland, Jordan, the Netherlands, Peru, Romania, Spain, and the United States. Their mission is to eliminate any enemy resistance, rescue the hostage, and gather valuable intelligence before departing the area.
All units descend to Odyssey 6. We have confirmed objective Buckhorn is not on the primary objective. We will execute contingency plan 4 Charlie. Initiate. Support by fire extinguisher fire. Snipers, targets about to finish. Ground with all force, move to a activation position on the bridge. Begin fire, over. This is, correction, Hurricane 13, this is Odyssey 6. We have reports of an enemy vessel approaching from the Hillsborough River. Move to interdict the vessel in the Hillsborough River, over. Roger, Odyssey 6, moving at this.
Yeah, sorry.
Odyssey 6, go ahead, over.
Roger, Odyssey 6, this is Drifter 6 with sit rep, over.
This is Odyssey 6, send sit rep, over.
Roger, objective Buckhorn is secure, break. I say again, objective Buckhorn is secure. We have 4 enemy KIA, break. Objective buildings 1 Alpha and 1 Bravo are secure, break.
This is Odyssey 6, I copy. Touchdown. Objective Hurricane. Break.
Hurricane 1-3, this is Odyssey 6. Move back to Exville.
Maritime Assault Force and objective Buckhorn, over.
Roger, good copy, the Odyssey 6. Be advised, enemy QRF boat is dead in water.
Odyssey 6, roger.
If you direct your attention to the southeast corner of the Tampa Convention Center, nearest the sail pavilion, you will see members of the Support by Fire team rappel down from the roof and make their way to rejoin the ground assault force in the village. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're located between the Tampa Convention Center and the village near the sail pavilion, please, for your safety, stand clear of the personnel and allow them room as they move through the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, you can now see the Black Hawk helicopter returning to exfil the crew from the yacht. They will use a special patrol insertion extraction system to pick up the crew. This system is used for extracting personnel from areas where helicopters cannot land, such as a dense jungle, aboard a vessel, or from the top of a building in an urban area. During this method, ropes are attached to the helicopter and dropped down to the personnel. A series of rings on the rope allow operators on the ground, all wearing special harnesses, to clip onto the rope. Up to 8 fully laden troops can be lifted off the ground and carried away using this technique. The assaulters have remained on board, will remain on board, and will prepare the vessel for repatriation after the crew has been successfully extracted from the deck. Ladies and gentlemen, with the assault force out of the objective area, the sniper team has been cleared to depart its post. If you look across the channel to the Tampa General Hospital, you'll see a sniper team rappelling down the side of the building. The individuals will eventually make their way to the ground and link up with one of the combat rubber raiding craft teams for exfil. Ladies and gentlemen, as we watch the personnel preparing to exfil off the yacht, you see the MH-60 holding a steady hover above the ship. These highly trained helicopter pilots can fly at a cruising speed of 138 miles per hour just a few feet off the ground at night and in bad weather. The Black Hawk helicopter has a crew of 4 and can hold up to 10 passengers depending on the internal load configuration. It is armed with 2 7.62 millimeter miniguns, which can inflict devastating fire on enemy positions, as each gun can fire up to 4,000 rounds per minute.
Odyssey 6, this is Raider. I'm moving to Exfil now.
This is Odyssey 6, Roger. Continue with Exfil. Over.
6-1, come out, 5 Eagles.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will now see the combat rubber raiding craft return to the channel and drop off the helicast personnel into the water, where they will form a line and await the arrival of the Black Hawk helicopter to pick them up. The Black Hawk crew will drop a caving ladder into the water, and the operators will climb the ladder and enter the aircraft. The helicopter will typically hover about 10 feet above the water while the personnel climb the ladder. This is no easy task. Just imagine doing this at night in freezing cold water, weighed down by lots of gear, and with the helicopter rotor wash beating down on you.
They don't have to be. They were in a good enough position.
Ladies and gentlemen, while the MH-60 was extracting its personnel, the helicopter assault force assaulters were preparing to repatriate the yacht Starship. With preparations complete and the crew back in friendly hands, the ship is beginning its journey to a safe port where it can be turned over to a waiting relief crew.
They gotta move it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you also notice the MH-6 Little Bird continuing to fly around the objective area. It has been conducting several types of missions today. This highly maneuverable aircraft provides an excellent means to detect enemy personnel gathering for a counterattack. This Little Bird has a crew of 2, can carry up to 6 passengers, and normally cruises at 80 knots. You saw the snipers earlier, and they go through extensive training to accurately shoot from a moving aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look overhead, the final event you will see today is a military free-fall parachute jump. This 7-man team, consisting of jumpers from France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and the United States, will exit an MC-130 Combat Talon II aircraft from 8,000 feet and deploy their parachutes at 4,000 feet. They will assemble in the air and then land together in the water.
Jumpers away, jumpers away.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jumpers are away. Considered to be one of the military's most demanding and potentially hazardous advanced skills, military free-fall parachute operations are used to infiltrate enemy areas under the cover of darkness to avoid detection or to jump in where aircraft cannot land. Special operations military free-fall personnel are taught to conduct high-altitude, low-opening missions by exiting an aircraft at altitudes up to 30,000 feet. Typically, the parachutists free-fall to about 4,000 feet from ground level before deploying their chutes. A similar activity is known as high-altitude, high-opening parachute missions, in which parachutists exit at high altitudes and deploy their canopies using highly maneuverable gliding parachute systems to silently travel distances of more than 50 kilometers. These highly trained individuals conduct military free-fall operations in the dead of night while fully loaded with 70 pounds of combat equipment and wearing a special helmet and oxygen mask. While it has departed the area already, today's jump platform is an impressive machine as well. A highly modified variant of the C-130 Hercules aircraft, the MC-130 Combat Talon II provides infiltration, exfiltration, and resupply of special operations forces and equipment in hostile or denied territory. Secondary missions include psychological operations and helicopter and vertical lift air refueling. The Combat Talon II has a crew of 7 and can hold up to 52 combat parachutists. It has an advanced terrain-following terrain avoidance radar, a top speed of 300 miles per hour, and an unrefueled range of 2,700 nautical miles. allowing it to deliver personnel and cargo deep in enemy territory with pinpoint accuracy both day and night and in adverse weather. The jump master duties for today's jump are being conducted by an Air Force Special Tactics Combat Controller. Combat controllers are certified air traffic controllers assigned to Special Tactics squadrons. The mission of a combat controller is to deploy undetected into combat and hostile environments to establish assault zones or airfields while simultaneously conducting air traffic control, fire support, command and control, direct action, counterterrorism, and humanitarian assistance. Their motto, First There, reaffirms the combat controller's commitment to undertaking the most dangerous missions behind enemy lines by leading the way for other forces to follow. Additionally, these airmen have been instrumental in controlling critical close air support missions in hostile territory within close proximity to friendly forces. These special skills require extensive additional training to be certified as a Joint Terminal Attack Controller, or JTAC. These personnel are typically located with the Ground Force Commander and assist with coordinating close air support during special operations missions. One thing that is also interesting to note is the fact that all of the airspace required for today's event is actually being controlled by two of these combat controllers, who you can see positioned on top of Tampa General Hospital. This team is not only responsible for controlling the layering of all of today's military aircraft, but they are also responsible for coordinating airspace with the Federal Aviation Administration, Tampa International Airport, Peter O. Knight Municipal Airport, and any aircraft that would enter the area. In addition to having combat controllers, Air Force Special Tactics units also consist of Special Operations Weather Team Airmen and Pararescuemen. Pararescuemen, also known as PJs, are the only DoD elite combat forces specifically organized, trained, equipped, and postured to conduct full-spectrum personnel recovery. Special Operations Weather Team Airmen are Air Force meteorologists with unique training to operate in hostile or denied territory. They gather, assess, interpret environmental data, and forecast operational impacts from forward deployed locations, working primarily with Air Force and Army Special Operations Forces. Ladies and gentlemen, as the last jumper enters the water, let's give them all a round of applause. Direct your attention to the returning rigid hull inflatables, where you will see our hostage, played by Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn, returning to the Convention Center grounds. One more interesting fact to consider about today's events is, as impressive as all of this is, it's even more impressive when you consider that these teams had to merge the tactics, techniques, and procedures from 14 different nations, overcome language barriers, and choreograph this entire demonstration in about 4 days. You're presently looking at some of the finest special operators in the world.
Let's have a round of applause for Mayor Buckhorn.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 2016 International Special Operations Forces Capabilities Demonstration.
You know, when you're in the company of these guys and you know what they've been doing for the last 15 years and the number of deployments that they've been on and the sacrifice for their families, you know, you're just humbled to be amongst them. I mean, this was a great demonstration. Obviously, it was a lot of fun shooting the 50 cal, but this is serious business for them. And these are the best in the world right here that we're watching. And so for me, I just am appreciative of what they do. I'm thankful that they asked me to participate. I am a professional hostage. But more importantly, I just love being with them. I mean, I just love being with these guys.